Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode number 137. Gumbo Live, the number one Facebook Live talk show in Rain, Louisiana on Tuesday nights, dedicated to board gaming. That's right. Our special guest tonight, Heather O'Neill. She's a designer. She is talking about her game Dreams of Yesterday, which is out on crowdfunding right now. But Heather's got a lot of hats that she wears. We're going to try to talk to her about some of those. We'll be talking about games. We'll be talking a little unpub. Might even get some tips on how to pitch your game. A couple of quick show notes. Hit us up on social media tonight, on Twitter or on Facebook at Board Game Gumbo. We're also on Twitch, twitch.com/Board Game Gumbo. We want to see some questions in the chat crew. We will make sure we take those tonight. But enough blather. Let's get right to our special guest. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing?
Hey, Heather, I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful night out here in Louisiana. I understand that you and my friend DJ Bell might be a little tired. But before we get to Unpub, give us the elevator pitch. Who is Heather O'Neill?
Well, I'm the CEO of Ninth Level Games, which makes board games and role-playing games, and also a game designer, which is why I'm here. And then I'm also on the board of Unpub as the managing director. So I do a lot of the convention planning and run the speed pitching events.
There's only 24 hours in a day and 7 days a week, Heather. How are you doing all of those different things?
Well, I think it's because before 2020, I was a project manager in tech. And then I don't work in a full-time job anymore. And I have to fill those hours I used to fill. So I still feel about the same amount of when I used to work full time. So
tell us a little bit more about Ninth Level Games. I know that it's got some role playing, but also some other things, right?
Yeah. So it actually started way back in the day before I got involved. My husband Chris started the company with his best friend, making a RPG called Kobolds Ate My Baby, and it was a humorous one of the only ones that there was. So many years went by where someone else published those games and we didn't really get involved. And then when the Kickstarter kind of became around and crowdfunding was a thing, they kind of thought, well, maybe we should see if people still care about this. And they relaunched the game and made a whole bunch of money and kind of restarted the company up a little bit more. And that's when I got involved. And I had been getting into board games a lot more. So then I had a board game called Schrodinger's Cats that I was working on. And we were like, you know what? We have distribution and a publishing company. Maybe we just make it. And that did really well. And that just kind of launched us into, like, we're publishers now. That's what we're doing. So we've put out about 5 board games with another one coming out sometime later this year, hopefully, or on Kickstarter at least. And then a ton of RPGs as well.
Heather, one of the things I loved about Schrodinger's Cats, all of the puns. Who, tell me, who's the who's the inspiration? Who's behind the scenes? So if you haven't seen this Chat Krewe, you need to check out some of the pictures.
There.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, actually kind of everybody. So the company is myself, my husband Chris, our other partner Dan, and our other partner Adriel. So sorry, Dan, but everybody except for Dan was on the design team for this one. So everyone kind of jumped on it and thought, since we were going to do kind of this humorous, cutesy take on Schrodinger's Cats, let's ham it up a little bit. So that's
which one's your favorite one of the cats?
That's a really good question. I love, there's 2 that I love. The Madame Puri art is just really cute. And she has a little brooch with like a dead cat. So Madame Puri instead of Curry, it was another one. And then I really like the Mittens Faraday. So he's in a Faraday cage, but it's over a litter box. So they're the 2 character cards that I love the most. So
we got a couple of people checking in. Our favorite, Patrick Newman, checking in from League City. We'll see Patrick at Southern Board Game Fest coming up in October. The #1 Facebook Live show in League City. Hey, I might use that, Patrick. Don't threaten me. We got somebody on Twitch checking in. Beth Makes Games says, "Hey, Heather.
Hello.
Thank you for watching." And yes, if you haven't seen,
Angel. Hi.
If you haven't seen all of Verla's pictures, that is great. Unbirthday Angel saying hello. Yep, thank you for checking in. And Kelly, also stick around. Kelly might have some questions. We'll see. It is the season for getting back out on the trails. How is it? How's the weather up there where you are? Are you able to get outdoors at all?
Me? Yeah. Actually, I was playing tennis today outside. It's 60 something degrees, but last week it was 44. So it's not quite, I'm in Philadelphia. So it's kind of in that we can't decide if it's spring yet.
Oh, so PAX East.
PAX East is, well, PAX Unplugged is where.
Oh, PAX Unplugged. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
PAX East is in Boston, and I will be heading there shortly.
No, I forgot. PAX Unplugged is right there in Philadelphia. One of these days, I'm going to make it. Steve's been, and Steve and his people rave about it. So I'd like to go.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I've heard some good things about the food market they have pretty close to the con.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Good that food is important for anybody from Louisiana. The first thing we need to know is where's the food going to be located and how can we get taken care of? At Southern Board Game Fest here, our local fest here in Louisiana, we call it a festival. We don't call it a con because it's more than just playing games. It's, it's about the fellowship, but also it's about the food. We have a food festival that's right outside of our con, and we just walk 100 feet and there's food trucks serving fried alligator and jambalaya and all the kind of stuff that you really want. So
that's cool. I like it.
All right. So we've got a couple other people. Let me bring them in so we can get some checks. I think at least one of these people. There he is, DJ Bell. So if we have any technical difficulties, it's because Jay is broadcasting from way far away from my house. So I think like 100 feet.
Yeah, like 100 feet.
Heather, you're actually, this is a first time ever. We have two people in the studio that are actually live in the studio. So we'll see what happens. We also have the producer, Steve, the name father. Steve's going to be helping us run the Envy game later on. And the Gumbo Overlord who keeps us straight. There she is.
Hey.
I don't think you've met Heather and Verla.
Hello. No, nice to meet you.
Verla's the board game ambassador on Instagram and posts beautiful photos of pets and board games, right?
And hiking.
And hiking.
Those three.
Patrick wants to know what's the closest Whataburger that they have to the convention. I don't even know if they have one in Philadelphia. Do they?
No, they don't. It's not here yet. We don't have In-N-Out Burger either.
No In-N-Out.
Just Five Guys and Shake Shack and that kind of stuff.
You need nothing else.
Yeah, and maybe more. I don't know.
So I threw it out there, Jay, and I know that you and Heather were both there. Dish a little bit. What was Unplugged like this year?
Unplugged? Yeah.
What did I say? Unplugged? I meant to say Unpub. Sorry,
that's what I thought you might have meant. It was great. Jay,
how was your Unplugged, Heather?
I want to hear Jay's first because it was your first time going, and I've gone maybe 4 times, and I'm running it, so it's a little bit biased.
Yeah, I played too many games, didn't sleep enough, I didn't eat enough. I got so many hugs, way more hugs than I ever thought I could get in a weekend. It was great. I'm definitely going to be back. It was amazing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it was great because it had, I forget if I had gone in 17, 18, 19 or just 18, 19. And it was starting to grow into that like 600 to 1,000. It wasn't quite at 1,000, but somewhere in that range, people. And then COVID hit and we didn't have it for 3 years. So we had it back last year and it was very small. Just there was confusion on, people had tickets they didn't realize because they bought them 3 years ago and life changed. They couldn't make it. So it was definitely like less than maybe 300 last year. But I didn't even put this out on the internet yet. It's not even on Twitter yet, but it's well
Gumbo Scoop, Steve.
Yeah, Scoop, well over 450 attended. So we're back kind of like creeping back up on our numbers, which is great.
How did you get involved in Unpub, Heather?
Well, it's kind of a funny story how it actually happened. I've known Ben, who is the mayor of Unpub, as they call, and I've known Daryl Louder, who used to be like the president of Unpub. And I would attend, but never thought I would be on the board. And then, as I mentioned, I had a very kind of demanding job pre-COVID. I was looking to leave. I left. And then a friend of mine, Gil Hova,
Gil.
Asked to run Origins online because of COVID, and he brought on a team, and it was me, Danielle Reynolds, and David Gordon. So the 4 of us were asked to make it work and make an Origins online. We did that in 8 weeks, and then they decided not to do it anyway. So we didn't have it. So we had spent all this time like learning Discord and doing all these things, setting up panels. We had a panelist and everything ready. So then we were like talking to Ben and we were like, what if we just did it with you guys? And he said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys helped us do something like that? So we ran a thing called Nun Pub online.
I remember Nun Pub.
August of 2020. And out of that was where I talked to him about joining the board at like a higher level to like do a lot of work in it. Danielle was an advisory board member and still is. So it ended up just being like, because we had gone through all that over the summer, and then we had gotten through that online con and it went pretty well, that we wanted to do more. So a lot of it had to be online. So it was kind of cool last year to finally like go to cons as Unpub and run our convention again, which was neat. So yeah, I really like it. So we're just basically baby stepping our way back from COVID.
We actually get a lot of designers, would-be or budding designers on the show that like to watch over the course of it. What's that one thing, Jay and Heather, that you have heard at your Unpubs? What's that one tip that you think for pitching a game? Because that's when those first-time designers come around, they're always a little bit worried about, how do I pitch a game? What's that tip you've heard?
Well, I have 2 tips, and I know Jay's probably in agreement. One is you have to have a sell sheet. That's simple, and Jay can have comments about that part of it. But then just when you're about to talk about your game, don't go on too long. Just do a 1 or 2 minutes, breathe, and let them ask you some questions and go from there. They don't need to know every detail of your game in the first 5 minutes.
All right, so she says sell sheet and a quick elevator pitch. Jay, what do you think?
Very, very key important things. And with your sell sheet should look good. Not big blocks of text, more pictures, like 85% pictures and explanatory visual things, about 15% text. One of the biggest things I tell people when they're pitching games is to know your game, but also know the publisher that you're pitching it to. Really know like what their catalog is, what they want from the game, what they're looking for, what they're not looking for. And just be comfortable talking about your game, because you're not just trying to get someone to play your game. You're trying to get someone to buy a product that they're going to sell.
Good points, Heather. Good points.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I know Jay's a very graphic designer brain. I agree. I like a good looking sell sheet as well. However, even if you feel you don't have the best skills, still have one. Even the bare minimum one will be better. I'm sure everyone knows this now, but like 10 years ago versus now, the number of games coming into the market per year is insane. 10,000 or something. So there's people pitch it. They're seeing 500 pitches a year, maybe more. So they don't have time to maybe see every bit of your rules to make a decision if it's in the yes or no pile. So they're looking at the sell sheet most of the time.
All right. Well, Chat Crew, if you got any questions about pitching games, these are the 2 people to talk about. But we do like to talk about games too. BJ Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest Heather O'Neill here. I've got Jay and Berla and Steve in the chat. And Heather, Jay introduced me to a game that I had never even heard of. I know the base game, but I didn't know this one. Jay, how did you hear about Bonanza das Würfelspiel? How did you get that into the gumbo pot?
Yeah, so I am lucky enough to work with a bunch of talented individuals in the board game community from all across the globe, and we meet up once a year for our Panda Summit. So we like to bring these small games because, when you're flying, you don't have space for Gloomhaven or Endless Winter in your bag, really. So one of our project managers who lives in Portland, who's really obsessed with like international games from Japan, Germany, she brought Bonanza, the dice game, Das Würfelspiel, and it takes the normal Bonanza game and it really changes up how you negotiate and what you're doing, and has some push your luck elements. You're rolling dice, you're hoping to get the right things, you're hoping that other people can't use them, and essentially you're getting points by moving your card up another card, slowly harvesting beans and trying to beat out the other players to get specific bean matches at different levels.
And that's what those coins are in the picture that I'm showing. That's, you're trying to get up those matches so you can get to the areas that you can score points, right?
Yep.
What I liked about this one, Heather, have you played the base game Bonanza?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, Verla?
Once.
once a few years ago.
So Bonanza is famous because of that trading mechanic. And Jay, I was a little surprised.
I love it.
The trading mechanic's not there, and yet there is player interaction. How'd they pull that off?
Takes that trading and it replaces it with this communal sort of dice allocation. Like if it's BJ's turn, he's rolling dice and I'm using what he can't take in the beginning. And then after everybody else gets to use any of those dice, BJ gets to take away from that pool. And then he's only rolling four or 3 or 2. So slowly throughout a player's turn, what their opponents have is growing smaller and smaller. And at the end of BJ's turn, he can use all of those dice to move up multiple levels of his card.
And that's what I was surprised about. You know, that mechanic of pulling out a dice and putting into the box and leaving everything else. You're not only watching your board, but you're also still kind of watching what other players are going to want or need, or, you know, and there's that push your luck element. Jay, I was impressed. This thing was actually pretty good for a little, 20-minute push your luck dice game. Oh, and there's Time Roller checking in. Hey, Time Roller, what's up? Heather, have you ever heard of this one before?
No, I have not seen this version. I just wrote it down to remind myself. But I need to look this up later and buy this.
Is it kind of new or has it been out for a while?
I think it only came out last year, right?
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it only came out last year, although what this might be is a different version of it before. I'm not sure, but when Jay threw it on the table, I was totally surprised, man. I was not expecting that one.
Yeah, and I think it's only available in German, but someone did translate the rules on BGG, and you can download that PDF as well.
And once you learn how to play it, Jay, everything else is all just symbols, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't have any problems with that.
I hope it shows up at ChuckCon.
I'll bring it.
Oh, Jay. Yeah, Jay. BJ from Board Game Go. I've got my guests here, Heather, and we've got Steve and Jay and Berlin. We're talking some spicy hot games. Let me see if I can get to another one here. I've got that one that you had pulled up, Heather. Uh-oh, what happened there? Oh, there it is. I got to play Splendor Duel at BGG Con this past fall, and I'll tell you, what Bruno Cathala can do with these little small games that were already familiar to us, man, I'm just shocked. But I want to hear what you have to say for it. Heather, I'm sure you put this on a reason, so throw it at us.
Yeah. Well, I had been hearing about good things about it. I actually bought it for someone else for Christmas, having not played it because I heard so many good things. And my brother-in-law loves Standard Splendor, so I just went on a whim. And there's a board game cafe here called Thirsty Dice in Philadelphia, but they have a location called 21 Pips, which is more of a bar, I guess, than just games. But it has games there, and I went there for the first time with my friend, and we were looking around, and our friend who's the owner was like, "You should play this one if you haven't played it." So they convinced me. I was like, yes, I've been meaning to play this. So I finally got it to the table maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I like that there's 2 new elements. So aside from the fact that, the way that you can kind of see the board, there's kind of like a spiral, which explains how you place out the gems, so that you have to basically take them either like adjacent or I think you can take diagonal, but they can't be the same. I forget the exact way. There's some specific way you have to draft. There's also pearls, which are the purple ones off to the side, which some cards require, but there's only like 2 in the entire supply.
Oh, it's such a dogfight for those pearls, right, Heather?
Yes. And then you can kind of see these white things are like scrolls, I think, which kind of like in the other, thing, basically, you can like take a scroll at certain times to you take a scroll when you have to refill the board. That was one of the times. So if basically, you have to refill the board and you don't get a good pick, you get the scroll, which will allow you to like go first and hopefully get some pearls later. So there's some of those. There's a lot of interaction with that. And then otherwise, it's exactly the same game. The scoring, they kind of show a card there to the left that is, instead of the scoring being, you need 4 green and 4 blue, it's like the first 20 points or the first to have 10 castles or crowns or whatever it is. And the cards all have that on them. So it still feels exactly the same. If you've never played Splendor, you can still play this. But if you've played Splendor, you can pick it up in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah, some of the cards, Steve, have crowns on them instead of just being normal cards. So as you can see in that picture right there, it might only be worth 2 points, but it's got a crown. And it's got this in-game thing with the crown. In fact, I think that's one of the in-game triggers is the first person to get to 10 crowns, if I remember right, something like that.
It is, yeah. So you can kind of just go for crowns. I think it's that's the 10 is 10 of the same like color. So it's like, the same row. So you can say, I'm going to go for all green, or I'm going to go for crowns, or just points, straight points. So it was kind of interesting. I really liked it. It's also very small, kind of in the same vein of Jay's, where, you could travel with it. You could take it like in your backpack really easy. So that, and it has a bag for the little gems, so they don't like fall out if you put the box this way or something. So I would suggest that a lot for travel.
So Seven Wonders, when they turned into Seven Wonders Duel, it was like, okay, why are they making this fantastic game into just a little 2-player game? And then for some people, I think Steve is one of them, maybe, or one of our friends is Seven Wonders Duel is actually the game they like better than regular Seven Wonders. Maybe not
that's
you,
Berlin.
But Berlin, okay, that's right.
I feel like there's a lot of people in gaming now that are like, they're so sick of Splendor, or they don't like Splendor. So, but they like Splendor Duel again. So for Splendor and that team, good idea, because there was a lot of people that were kind of getting sick of Splendor. And those people, I've heard a lot of them talking about how great this is. So
I thought it breathed new life into what is essentially a great game, but that after a while, it was such a great game when it came out, but there's a lot of other games that have done its mechanic better. And then all of a sudden, Bruno Cathala puts all these little tiny spins on it. What do you think, Berla? Is that something you're interested in?
Oh, I love it. It was one of my Secret Santa gifts from our Facebook group, and so
I didn't know you got to play it.
Nice.
I did. I own it now. I've played it 2 or 3 times, and I really like it for exactly what you guys are saying. It just adds some nice little twists to the original game to spice it up and make it a little more interesting.
Who do you think this game's for, Heather?
I mean, I would say it's for 2 people. That's, so be aware of that, obviously, because some people, even though it says Joel, I don't know, but they missed that. But I would say if you want a quick game, but you're looking for something a little bit more, like a little bit more complexity to it, right? This is a small footprint, like that is a very small board. So you could be on a table having beer or something, and it would fit on there very easily. Or I wouldn't say just at the beach, but maybe a picnic table at the park or something. You could easily take it, and you're not taking up a lot of room. So I would say it's great for on the go. It's also great for like a quick, hey, it's a Tuesday night, or it's a filler game in between a bigger game type of thing.
I did find that Splendor seemed to play better at 3, at least when we played it, 3 or 4 players. But Splendor Duel is a nice distillation of what it is with some extra mechanics on top. Thumbs up for me. I like it.
I like it too. Yeah.
I don't know if it beats out Seven Wonders Duel, but Steve,
if you're even saying them in the same sentence, as far as I'm concerned, that's a sale.
Yeah. It's definitely something everybody should play. If you like Splendor, this is going to bring in some new life to it. Thanks, Heather, for talking about that one. This is a good game. Let's see who's next. I think. I wanted to hear from Steve, because Steve, your choice was something I am just dying to play if I can ever get to it.
Okay.
Let's see where we are on that one. Yeah, I'm just having a little trouble with doing the present part, but I'll get it.
The Overlord is going to have to crack the whip, BJ. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Heather, we normally only have 2 or 3, and we're trying this new season where we can add in more people and all the graphics.
And sharing screens. That's a lot.
That's a lot for my brain. BJ from Morgan, I've got my guests here, Heather O'Neill. We've got Jay and Steve and Verla right here, and we're talking with the chat crew about some spicy hot games we played. Acropolis is one I have not tried, Steve, but I'm seeing a lot of buzz about it.
You should try it. It is a good, solid game. It is, I was telling you all in some chat here, The idea for me, the quick pitch on this is that's kind of like King Domino and Number 9 had a baby. It's tile laying.
I like the sound of that.
It's tile placement, and you're doing in kind of King Domino style. You've got different colors that will score based on particular rules as you lay them out in your tableau. But the Number 9 part is that you stack the tiles on top of each other. And on the first level, they're only worth 1 point a tile. On the second level, they're worth 2 points a tile. And if you can get it up to the third level, 3 points. So there's going to be a vertical climb that you've got here. But you don't get those points unless you also have something a la King Domino, where King Domino has the crowns in the corner. You have to play tiles that will have colors with stars on them that are your multipliers. So you need to have the visible multiplier and then the scoring of 5 different colors that will give you a 5 or 6 layer scoring. So the scoring will take some time at the end. But what you've got there is the looking down from above. That's the whole thing with scoring. Because if you have the looking down from above, the blue has to be next to other blues, but it can be a level higher. So you're looking down from above for all the blues to connect. You're looking down from above to see that the yellows don't touch other yellows. You're looking down from above to make sure that all the purples are enclosed and that the reds are on the edges. And there's theme to it, I suppose. Your reds are the military that have to guard your borders. It's really colors and edges.
Yeah.
It's a thematic puzzle. It's spatial, but a bit of a gateway filler brain burner. You have to work on this one. You're going to have to think about things and not screw yourself up.
Kind of a super
I've played
filler?
it now twice and screwed myself up each time.
Super filler. I like that.
Yeah, kind
I'm
of a
going
super
back to
filler. Yeah,
filler.
Steve.
I like this. I love a spatial puzzle. I also, even though it's funny for how much I like funny and cute themes, I don't really care about theme. I will just play for points, and it's red versus blue or whatever. That's totally fine with me. So
it's an abstract. It's got enough theme to make the numbers make sense because the neighborhoods, the blues need to be connected. The parks are going to be worth something everywhere. The merchants, the yellows don't want to be near other merchants because that's competition. The military needs to be on the edges guarding your borders. So it's, I suppose, some rules that kind of make sense, but it's really an abstract puzzle. And you do need to pay attention to what other people are playing around the board.
I've heard
that's
the game
where I
goes,
screwed up.
I heard the game goes pretty quick. What's the end game condition?
The end game condition is you play all the tiles. Essentially, it scales from 2 to 4, and you'll have tiles that are 2+, 3+, and 4. And so some tiles are left out if you're playing a smaller game, and all the tiles are in if you're playing with full 4 players. The 2 that we've played so far is 2-player and 3-player, and it ended at about the same time each game. It was pretty well scaled, and it worked the same way each time. You ended up having the same feel of what you had built, but I built terribly and still want to play it again.
That is Acropolis.
The way you described it, scoring from above, looking down, makes me think of Reef, which nobody
Kind of,
seems to play
yes.
anymore, but I really
A little
like
bit of
Reef.
that, too.
Same thing.
Again, Reef would have different vertical layers, but again, you're looking down from above for the colors connected.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other little things in there where you can get stone to be able to buy better things, but you get that by covering up quarries. But it's not that big. That's not very rules heavy, but you do need to pay attention because if you don't, in a 2-player game, my son smoked me. And in a 3-player game, after I thought I knew what I was doing, Luke beat me by a little, but Kevin smoked both of us. So if you're not paying attention to what other people are building, you could be thinking, I've got a nice little city here, and you're dwarfed by somebody else.
You know what I like is they could have just gone with generic reds, purples, blues. I love all this little artwork. It's the way I want to play. I just like Heather said, I don't care that an abstract doesn't really have a theme. That's part of the fun of the game. But if it has thematic touches that just kind of, make the artwork pop. Oh, I like that. And I like
it makes it intuitive. And this was the kind of thing that as soon as after we played it, I said, hey, Luke, do you think your wife will play this? He said, yeah, I think so. Let's give this a shot. It's something that would be good for new gamers, but they should be prepared to think a little bit because they're going to have to puzzle.
I am digging it. And that is Acropolis.
Yep. You got it.
I've seen it around. So is it available now or is it one of these?
I got it at PAX Unplugged last year.
Okay.
So I think it is available. I'm seeing it advertised on the dreaded Amazon for somewhere around $30. The colors do seem to pop nicely. We did have somebody in our group who is colorblind, and they didn't seem to have too much troubles with it because the colors, well, there could be some overlap with your greens and reds. They are different art on them, so you can get the idea.
Yeah, Bill makes that good point that if you have the right kind of art, it can help out
Mhm.
with things like that. I don't know if you know Bill, Heather.
Oh,
Bill
yeah, I know Bill.
Okay.
Hi,
Making sure.
Bill.
That is Acropolis. I like what I'm seeing. That's a good one. Thank you, Steve. That is a good one.
Yeah, I'm
All
sold
right.
too.
Oh yeah, Jay, this is the kind of game you want to play?
Man, you know I love spatial puzzles, and this is good.
The Kark Shark would want to lay some tiles.
Yeah.
It is true. It is true. I think we got one more game. Let's see. Heather. Verla, you were going to talk about Heather and Nail, or
Was I this week?
Or you want to do that next time?
Sure.
Okay.
Next time.
All right. Well, then Jay and I are going to talk about one quick game, and then we'll get right to the big game of the night for us to talk about. But we got one that we actually just played, and that's the reason. Heather, sometimes there's games that go right out my brain after I play them. So this is very fresh in my mind.
Right.
But I literally just finished playing it with Jay right before here.
Right, so
BJ from More Game Gumbo. I've got my
hard for
guests here, Heather. I've got Steve and Jay and Berla, and we're talking spicy odd games. And one of those is a game that I taught Jay tonight, and it's called Gasha from 25th Century Games. Has anybody heard of Gasha? Anybody?
No.
I have heard of it and I want to try it. It looks adorable, and I'm just going on looks. I don't know anything about how it plays.
So I'm relying on what Jay said. Jay said this is actual stuff that actually Kristen has actually seen out there in the wild, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of when you go to any grocery store or like arcade and you have your quarters, or your parents have their quarters, and you want to put the quarter in, twist the knob, and you get a little ball, and you're hoping the one you see on the picture that you want is inside of your little ball. And that's pretty much what you're doing here. You're pulling cards, and you're hoping you get the right little toy or sushi plushie or little robot, and then it's sort of a like set collection for some scoring cards, and you go through tons and tons of scoring cards. I think BJ had like 8 or 9 at the end of the game, and I had like maybe 10. So you're gonna get a lot of scoring, and you're gonna be picking from 4 different decks of cards. And the really interesting thing here, as you can see on that picture there, the back of the card tells you what you have, like a 33. Yeah, it's not guaranteed what you're going to get. These are the options you have. So you're pulling and you're not sure. So you got some decisions to make there. And, you and your opponents are going for the same goals. So if BJ pulls this card, I might know what he might be going for, but I'm not sure because this other goal also has the same little toys that it needs. So there's a lot of fun there.
And that's the setup right here. So at the top, you see what Jay was just describing. You see all the little Gasha machines that have the little coin slot. And all you know is that behind those Gasha machines, I might get one of those 2 or 3 things. Then on the bottom, you've got all those scoring cards. And I'm trying to match those Gashas to turn them in. So the one of them that says the 7 on it, it's looking specifically for 3 of the same Gashas. Okay. The twist is 2 more things. And I think, Jay, this was a crucial element in the game.
This is how you got me.
We both played different things. Jay was just hitting those 12 pointers, hitting all the big pointers every time, getting 7s. I was looking for the tickets. If you see the tickets on the bottom, there's those little blue and red ticket stubs. If you can get 2 of those of the same color, you get to turn them in for those little circles that have the question marks and the stars. Those are little bonus tokens. Behind those random bonus tokens, and they're different every game because they give you a big pile of them, but you only use 5 of them, right? So you don't know what they are, but they could be either giving you another turn or 3 points or even some wild Gashas. So there's that race element of, am I gonna steal that blue ticket from Heather because I know she really needs it to complete something, or do I want to try to get that 12 pointer before Jay gets it? The game plays super quick. It's easy to teach. My little grandbugs, as young as 6 years old, are beating me at this game. Now I don't know if that's really. I don't know if that's them or me. I don't know if that's saying anything about the game or them. But I am proud. I'm a proud Pop that This is a game simple enough to play with the family. It plays super quick. Jay, you and I got it knocked out in 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to admit, I'm a sucker for this artwork. This is just,
It's so cute.
Yeah.
look at this. I mean, it's just so cute. But, you know, every time I played, I've gone with a different strategy. Am I going for the big points? Am I going for the tickets? Am I going for the just turn over and get as many tickets faster than you can as the other people? So well done. This is from designer Jason Levine. I'm not sure if this is
this
Jason
is Jason's
Levine.
game.
Is this Jason Levine, the gaming machine from the Dice Tower? I'm not sure.
I think it might be.
Is
Because there was something that was recently posted that he had a game that was coming out. This might be
Might
it.
be.
Was it at Unpub last year? I don't know. Heather? Maybe?
I've never seen it before. I'm going to ask Chad over 25th Century. Where's this from?
Yeah. I need to hit Chad up and find out. I was looking at the thing. I said, Jason Levine, like the gaming machine? Maybe. I do know that he likes to go to Japan. So maybe this is something that he saw sitting on the subway and said, oh, let me put this together. But I will admit, every time I played it, I've liked it even more. And what we're talking about, though, I don't want anybody to think of something different. This is just a filler game that you play at the start of the night. You know what this reminds me a little bit of? It doesn't have the exact interaction, so I don't want to say this is a one-for-one match. But it would take the place of a game like No Thanks or For Sale that you're starting the start of the night. Jay and I are waiting for Steve, who's late again for game night. So let's throw something. Well, I mean, to be fair, Steve, you do have a long.
I am coming
ride.
from a distance.
Coming from a pretty far distance, so yeah.
You do have a long train ride. So yeah, if we're waiting for Steve to show up, this is the kind of game that Jay and I could just pull out and play real quick. So cool. I got to admit, thumbs up from me on this one. I like it.
Interesting.
What do you think? Anybody? Yay? Nay?
Add it to the Chat list.
The list grows.
All right. Now we're going to get to the big thing we want to talk about. Everybody in the chat crew, we've got Heather O'Neill. One of the reasons that we're talking about her, talking with her tonight, is because our friend Carla from Weird Giraffe Games, who's been on this show, probably only closer to Jeremy Howard for the number of times that we've gotten a chance to visit. Carla's one of our favorite guests, Heather. If you've ever talked to Carla in person, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
She is absolutely just a trip when she comes on the show. Anything she knows, anything she needs, she can get from us. And we were happy to talk about this game that's out on crowdfunding. I think it's on BackerKit.
It's on BackerKit, yes.
Dreams of Yesterday. And you are the designer, Heather.
I am. So I don't know how much everybody knows about this, but this actually was a design that was part of a contest that Weird Giraffe did in late 2020 for these small versions of their game. So I think there was a explosion in the library that came out a few months ago, or crowdfunded a few months ago. That was one of them, I guess. And Motley, I think, is in this one. And so Carla was looking for that, and Weird Giraffe was looking for that. So you could pick any of their games and make a smaller card version of them. I think at the time it was only an 18 card or 24 card challenge, but it ended up, I think it's 27 cards at the end. And basically, if you've played Dreams of Tomorrow, it is reminiscent of that in a much quicker gameplay, and it only plays 1 to 3 players, but basically you get the feeling of a heavier game in a very small package. There's a rondel style where you have double-sided cards that have double resources on the one side, and then these artifacts on the other. There's the double resources or single trophy resources. And the other side have the artifacts. And what you're trying to do is kind of make a row, which each row is a floor of your museum, right? So you're making the best exhibit that you can. When you put the urn at the end of the row, that completes your exhibit and gives you scoring bonuses, basically. So there might be, like that one says 3 points for, well, I'm going to say animals. I forget what they're cutesy names now that I don't remember exactly. They're alliterative. So it basically is like, you need to have this next to this, or you have to have 1 point for every animal on the other one, or the bottom is like, it has to be this exact configuration. So it gives you bonuses if you can get that.
So,
But-
Steve, are you catching how diabolical Heather is with this game?
Oh, yeah.
You not only have to try to outdraft your the other players as you move your little. We didn't have a meeple. We were just using empty spaces. I think it would work better with the meeple, Heather, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked it with the meeple.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has one in the game, honestly, at the final version, but yeah, basically, if you go over to the Bracker Kit page, you can watch the How to Play video, and you can see screenshot GIFs of exactly the tableau and how it's going to work.
We did find it easier
tableau.
with the meeple as opposed to just the empty hole, which is how the rules were given for us. But then you got to try to put them in order, Steve.
Yeah. You want them together in terms of matching symbols to give you more points in that. And it kind of expands 1 to 3 to, basically it's add 2 points, add 3 points, add 4 points.
I got to tell you,
the power on the edge of the card, whichever is the rightmost card, has a special power that lets you manipulate things.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that part.
And
because
you
want to keep that power.
Which card face to put up? You're saying diabolical. I think this is brilliant because there's layers of choice in this that makes it an interesting game for a small, powerful punch.
Now think about it though. Beth makes games. Where could we get, what gamers, where are they going to get a spare meeple from? I'll be honest. I've got like a ton of them on my wall here. So it was very easy just to plug them in. But I'll tell you, Heather, Jared and I are playing this game. And at first we're like, okay, there's only a limited amount of cards.
Right.
How deep can this game really be?
Mm-hmm.
This is when we say, and this is something the chat crew has heard me say a million times, when we say a small box game with a big presence, that's what this is. This is a small, tiny little micro game that's really got some deep decisions. Heather, was that one of the things you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because I'm saying but whoever's a designer out there, how you have a thing and you're like, I think this kind of works, and you're not sure. I think in this case it did work. It was just one of those things where after a lot of play testing, with luckily there was one other person I was in lockdown with, so we could always play. I could play 1 or 2 player, so it just ended up like working and actually feeling like a satisfying experience in like 15 minutes, and I'm like, is this right? So I felt pretty confident sending it in, and then then Carla contacted me and Weird Giraffe and was like, we want to make this and it's going to be part of our line. I was like,
how much did it change? Was it related to Dreams of Tomorrow at the start, or was it just
the
kind of abstract?
The rondel picking was really like reminiscent of it. That's basically, I started with that mechanic of that kind of picking those things, but basically then they added more cards. They changed the names of the categories, which is totally fine. But otherwise, this is pretty much exactly what it looked like. Yeah. The rules were pretty much exactly the same. There's a slight, I'm sure Beth can attest to this, or Angel, that there's some development work that got done, but it looks pretty similar to what we put in. So
now I've got the actual prototype right here in my hand. I don't know if it's coming through. Let me see if I can solo it. But this is just the prototype version. Does either you or anybody else know what's it going to look like whenever the project actually comes out? But Checker, I wasn't kidding. This thing fits in the palm of your hand.
Well, that looks like the art because it's Beth Sobel's art, which is amazing, which is so exciting. I don't know what the final form will be myself, but it's probably similar to what you have. I also have only seen the prototypes. I'm hoping to have it at PAX East so I can show it off while I'm there. So we shall see. But again, that'll still be a prototype. So and it might at this point see how much comes out from backer kit. Is that going to change things in a week or two? I don't know. But we think they're almost funded, real close. So I guess we'll find out shortly from them. But it's pretty much just going to be a deck of cards in some way.
Real close means $67 away at this point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, real close then.
Come on, Checker. Come on, Checker.
Checker, we're not telling you to leave the thread, but open a new tab.
Open a new tab.
I'll put the link out there for you.
Nice.
and Verla, $9, you get a game from Heather, who's got a track record. You've got absolutely gorgeous art from Beth Sobel. You've got Weird Giraffe Games, they're always on time. They always get their games out. And this game fits in the palm of your hand. You can slip it in your pocket, put it in your game bag. Steve can use it on the train on his way to game night here in Louisiana. Plenty of time to play. Now, I've only played it at 2. Does it have a solo mode? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 1 to 3. So yes, you can play 1. And there is a couple, actually, I'm looking at the final rules here to see.
Sold. Kelly Miller says, I'm in.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what they were waiting to hear, Kelly. Yeah. So there's a solo mode. It's basically looks like there's an AI, robot hand, if you will call it. So yeah. I
It's the
agree
old
with you,
copy
like,
bot.
for $9. I was actually surprised. I had no idea what the MSRP was going to be. And I was like, wow, this is really awesome. Like for $9, like, this is great. And then there's like a package to get Dreams of Tomorrow and Dreams of Yesterday, which is cool. So,
and Motley, which I think Jay has played.
Yes. Yep.
Jay, haven't you played Motley?
Yeah. So I got the chance to play Motley at Unpub. Actually, Justin brought it, the convention manager for Weird Giraffe, and Motley's really, really interesting because I never expected Carla to design a party game, and this one's
she hates party games.
I can see that being surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so like methodical and just very like combo-licious stuff, and then this one's just completely different. Like you just got the cards and you're trying to make pictures. Crazy.
If you tell me that Carla designed a party game with player elimination, I'm going to tell you get out. I know that's not true. That's the 2 things she hates.
I remember reading, I was looking on the site earlier on BackerKit, and I think I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, you said 1 to 3, but if you get a second copy of the game, you can combine them to play to 6 too.
No way.
Right?
I think it's just a limited resources of 27 cards. Like it's impossible to play more than 3 people. Yes.
Right.
I didn't know that. So wow, you're getting for $20, you're getting a full game that you can play with 6 people. Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty great. Yeah.
And that is Dreams of Yesterday. I still think you should call the solo mode the old copy bot. Added on deck, and you could play with 6 players.
Okay.
That is nice. We'll have to check it out. So Chat Crew, get on that. It's BackerKit. I think Steve had posted it in the chat. Let me see if I can scroll up real quick.
It should be there.
It's in there.
There it is. BackerKit.com/Weird Giraffe Games. Dreams of Yesterday. Hey, they've been longtime friends of the show and some of my convention buddies, Nick and Carla. Nick and I share a brain. When we play party games together, we're like right on the same wavelength. So
that is scary. I was scared that there was one of you. Now knowing that there are 2 has me chilled.
But it's scary for who, Steve? It's scary for Nick and Carla, not me.
Yeah.
Scary for them. Scary for them. That is Dreams of Yesterday. Kudos. I'll be honest. Games like this always, you always think, okay, how much can they really get out of this game? But this is really well done. It's really thinky, and that mechanic of how far you're going to go in the rondel, or if you get the special power, Steve, that lets you manipulate where you can get the cards. Oh, it's just really well done. Get out there and support that one. All right, that's Dreams of Yesterday. All right, this is a board game show, Heather. You know what that means?
We talk about board games?
Yes. And we play a game. We're going to play a game with the Chat Crew. It's called the Envy game, but I'm going to let Steve take it away.
All right. And you're going to have to jump back in and also help me with some of it too. What we do with the Envy game, Envy, BJ will tell you, is that Cajun French phrase that kind of means the game that you have a hankering to play, the game that would be your choice if you had the perfect conditions. You're jonesing to play this game. You have the right number of people. You got the right conditions. What would you play? Heather's been instructed to make a selection for what her choice would be. What's her Envy game? She's not going to tell us. We've got to guess it. I'm going to play kind of a la 20 questions, trying to figure things out. So we should try to ask, and this includes the Chat Crew too, yes/no questions. And as we get that, we can kind of narrow things down to maybe make a guess as to what the game is. And when we make a guess, and if we're wrong, this is where I think BJ's got a little twist thrown in here. We could make it so that, if Heather just stumps us, there could be some hints that maybe are available. If we get it wrong, we might take a hint. But if you want to think about it, you're losing some of your pride points if you take too many hints. What did you say, BJ? We're going to do 4 or 5?
Yeah,
If we
we're gonna
take
start
4 or
with
5
5
hints,
points.
we cash out.
Yep, we're starting with five points. All right. So as we go around the little rondelle here, when we get back to me, that means we're down another point because that'll give
Okay.
Heather a chance to
Gotcha.
give a thing. Now the chat crew, Heather, they can throw out all the questions they want, and they're trying to beat us because they really want the points, not us. So whoever
Got
does
it.
that, it's gonna be fine. So, all right. Do you have any questions?
There will be
about
a
the
winner
other
and
game?
a loser. It's either us losing or us winning. But with me on the team, I think it's going to be them winning.
And if there's a tie between me and the chat crew?
Oh, the rule is if there's a tie and BJ's
BJ
involved,
loses.
BJ loses.
Yes, there it is. All right. That's
Just
our
being a
rule.
gracious host, but we know how it goes.
Heather, you understand the rules of this game?
I mean, they're gonna ask, or you were gonna ask yes, no questions. I'm gonna give you the answer, right?
That's
And
it.
then you're gonna make guesses.
Yep.
My
Great.
prediction is that we're going to get it on the very first question.
Okay. Yikes.
This never happened.
Highly doubt
Reference.
that.
Well, I'm just going to pick a game right behind your head. So
Yeah. Oops.
pick that one.
That
'Cause
one.
Unfortunately, I've done that before. All right. So first question that I always ask, and then we'll go around the room. Jay will be next, then Steve, then Berta.
Okay.
And of course, we'll be throwing out. That's right, Jordan. Jordan from the No Cube Zone says tie always goes to the crew. That's exactly right. So first question is it a competitive or a cooperative game? And I'm going to guess it's competitive.
It's cooperative.
Oh, no.
Ooh, good start question.
We've only had a couple on the show. That's
Okay.
an interesting one. Oh, she's throwing a curveball already.
Not
right,
really a
Jack-
yes, no question, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Figure out.
BJ's famous for making up his own games and then making up his own rules.
Ever the Cylon, Heather. Ever the Cylon.
You didn't read the fine print in the show notes.
Yeah. Okay. Whoops. My mistake.
Only yes or no questions, and then the first question I ask is not a yes or no question. All right. So, but Heather, we'll be looking out in the chat group for any of the questions they have. Steve,
Okay.
No, Jay. DJ Bell is up. You got a question, Jay?
Okay, Heather, was this game ever on the BGG Top 100?
Ooh.
I would have no way of knowing that. I follow none of that.
Oh,
All right.
I only
Okay.
know if it's in the top like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Can you whisper the name of the game and I'll check for you?
It probably was, but I have no idea.
Just between me and you. Just between me and you.
You want to take a
Okay.
mulligan,
I
Jay?
can go search for you.
Oh, no. How about I just ask a different question?
I think that's cool.
Okay.
And it is okay to have BGG up, Heather, just in case you do have
I was
questions.
gonna
like
say
that
I
that
can
come up.
literally just I could have answered that.
Well,
I
we
thought
won't know if it's ever been in the top 100, so that'll be a tough
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Jay, throw out another question. I'm free. I'm good with that. Our referee Steve ruled already. So
Is the game thematic?
yes.
Okay.
So chat crew, we got a thematic cooperative game. Steve,
Was it originally published in like the last 10 years? Like older or newer game, I guess. So make 10 years the cutoff, since you might have BGG open.
I believe so.
So
I haven't gotten there yet.
okay. All right.
all right. So chat crew, we've got a cooperative game that's probably come out in the last 10 years, and it's thematic. Burley, you got one?
Is it card based or does it actually have a board?
It has a board.
Ooh, it's board.
So
Okay.
we've turned it into this or that questions. I think.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's right.
Changed it up a little bit.
That's right. Chat crew's kind of quiet here. No questions.
they
here.
are.
Jordan,
Yeah, chiming in.
nothing? You're going to let us have the points, Jordan? Bill? Is it a...
So we're back to BJ now. So we're down to 4 points.
Oh,
right?
no. We need a hint from Heather. You got a hint for us?
Right. Let me think.
If you don't have one, that's
I
okay.
have
We'll
one.
keep
I have
going.
because it's 1 to 4 players.
1 to 4. Okay. That makes sense co-op wise, because I suppose you could always play a single-handed or multi-handed co-op, but 1 to 4.
Is it an American designer?
Again, I have no idea.
Oh, not sure. Not sure.
I'm like, for how many people I know in the industry, I don't follow most of that stuff.
Then it's not the game I was thinking of because That would have been
Bill's
a
got a
pretty
good
easy
question
one.
in there.
Bill says, has it been reskinned? All right,
No.
Jordan's thrown out an answer. He says it's Spirit Island.
Nope.
Nope, it's not Spirit Island.
Solid guess.
That is a good guess. Has it been reskinned? Do you know if it has?
I don't.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's definitely not the game I was thinking of. So I'm way off. I'm gonna have to rethink this
That's a
thing.
board.
All right, Jay, what you got here? We got a cooperative game. It's thematic, and it probably came out in the last 10 years, and it's board based.
Is it space themed?
No.
That was the question in my brain,
That's a
Jay.
good question.
Good.
That's a
Good. Good
one.
question.
Okay. You said there's a board. You said it's 1 to 4. Do dice play a role in the game?
Are there
Very,
dice? in the
very,
game?
very little.
Okay.
There are dice. Yeah.
But there's dice. Okay.
All right, Verla, you're up. You got something? Ooh, this
Is it
is tough.
medieval themed?
No.
No.
Not medieval themed. All right, so Chat Crew, we got a cooperative game. It's board based. It's thematic, but it's not a space theme. It's not a medieval theme. Probably came out in the last 10 years. And I can't remember. Are there dice? No dice.
There
No,
are
There are dice.
dice, but not maybe huge role for dice.
dice, but not a big role in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 1 to 4 players, and I have my next clue or next hint for you.
I
We,
think
before
Bill
we
might
have
be thinking
Wait,
about the
is
same
there
thing,
one
but I
more?
was,
No, it's not crime themed.
it is not
Yeah.
crime themed. All right.
I was
So
wondering if it was going to be Burgle Bros, but that's more of a card than a board case. Board
Yeah.
there. There's no. I was thinking about. Oh, does it relate? To
are there
fire?
pirates? She's
I
thinking.
would say yes.
Oh, okay.
I would like yes.
And Patrick wants to know, does it relate to fire? Fire.
I mean, does it relate to fire? I have to say no, but is fire in the game? Probably. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Not
All right,
fire,
let's
I can
get
tell you.
that hint then. Your
That's
first
my
hint
hint.
was
No,
1 to 4
this is my
players.
joke hint. My hint is I'll give you a real hint. I was saying it's not fire tower, but when I say there's a board, there's also quite a lot of cards. So you may be thinking card when you think of this game, but there's a lot of card things as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
Like it takes up
my
a lot.
my mind keeps saying sleeping gods, but that I don't think that's it.
No.
Okay.
Well, that would have fit a lot of those things. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Patrick says, "Dead men tell no tales."
no.
Time stories.
No.
Hmm. Who are we up to? Is it back to you,
It is
BJ, or
back
what
to
did you-
BJ.
Is
Is
it-
it BJ or Jay?
Is it a legacy game?
That's a great question. I don't think it's a legacy game, but it has like that scoring, like, oh, try to get this score, try to get this score, try to get this score. Like it has like
Okay.
which one are we going for kind of thing, and you can keep track of that. It doesn't have like stickers or anything like that.
All right, so you don't tear up the cards, doesn't have
Don't
stickers,
tear up
doesn't
the
change the board.
cards.
But it does kind of have a goals to shoot for.
Right.
Okay. All right, Steve and Verla, you're up. Either one. of you got
Jay, did you
questions?
go?
Jay
Yes, Jay.
I
said.
didn't ask a question. I asked if it was sleeping gods, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, you were guessing sleeping gods. That's right. Yeah. So what's your question?
this is tough. Okay. Does it play in less than an hour?
Good question.
No.
Oh, it's a
Okay.
longer
She
game.
said
Chat
that with an
Crew.
authoritative shake of the head.
Yeah, she
Like
knows.
you're packing a lunch to play this game.
Yeah,
Oh.
Okay.
I think Heather knows which one it is.
I do.
Why hasn't
hope
she
she
guessed
does.
yet, BJ? If she knows, wouldn't she have guessed by now?
I
I
know.
know. I should be.
I'm stalling for time.
All right.
I'm stalling
So
for time.
long. All right. This is a little recap here. Long game, co-op game, 1 to 4, recent-ish, like we think in the last 10 years. Does not play in less than an hour. Has dice, and while it's got a board, we might think of it more as a card game. Thematic, but the theme has been ruled out of space or medieval. I think you said, right, Verla?
Sounds like it's got some sailing, piratey type stuff. So
But yeah, and there was something piratey about it. Okay.
wait a minute. Okay, you guys have the question, so go ahead.
Trying to think here. Well, I'm trying to think back to when we used to play this. What was our killer question? What was our go-to? And I think we've hit some of them.
Well, sometimes people would throw out those German designers, and we just nailed it right there. So
Yeah.
German.
Yeah.
Is it? So long. Good night, Patrick. Thanks for stopping by.
Good night. Good night.
Jordan's asking if it has expansions. I'm going to stall and
That's a
have
good
Jordan's
question.
question give me some time.
Does it have expansions, Heather?
Expansions?
Patrick, get some sleep.
I've never played with expansions. I'm looking on BGG now to see. It appears it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Expansions. Well, that's not the game I was thinking of either. Oh man, that's the thing. You have to kind of reset your brain when you get stuck on a game.
You get a no or a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, you still need a minute?
I think I want to take a shot at something like this. Would we recognize it as having been nominated for an award?
Good question.
I gotta think so. Again,
Ooh,
I'm
Dead
not
of
really
Winter.
a BGG following things unless it's like the top game. So let me see.
Bill's got a guess. He says Dead of Winter.
No.
No, not Dead of Winter. Good guess there, Bill. Are we close enough, Jay, on the theme, or do we need to hone in
I
on
think
the
we need to
theme a
get
little
the
bit?
theme.
That's what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro, what's your
It's-
question? You got something? Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say I'm so surprised it's a co-op. I don't play enough of those to be extremely helpful here.
Same.
What are you thinking, V? got
Does
something?
it come in a box bigger or smaller than a Ticket to Ride size box?
Oh,
It's a
I
good
would
question.
say
Or the same?
same or only slightly bigger.
oh, okay. I think I might have a guess, but I'm going to ask a question maybe first. Maybe before we get back to BJ. You mind if I take a shot, BJ?
Nope, you do it.
Go for
Is
it.
it a horror themed game?
No.
So much for Arkham and all those others.
Yeah.
I was thinking, there's your pack
Ready
of
for
lunch
more
game
Swiss-
and lots of
Deb
cards.
says hello. Deb, we're
Hi.
struggling. We need some help here. We need some help.
All right.
Debbie, I'll see you on Thursday at PAX East.
Heather's got a game for us. She wants to play. She's got the envy to play a cooperative game. It's thematic. It's got some dice in it. It's got a board, but it's got a lot of cards. It is sort of piratey. It's not space. In the last 10 years, and maybe even has some expansions. And we are, man, she's
Stumping us.
got us on this one.
Yeah.
We're down to 2 points, Steve.
And because BJ like told me the parameters, like, hey, pick any game, you can do anything.
Oh yeah.
That's why I didn't just pick one of these ones right here. So
Yeah. Remember the part where I said make it tough on us, Heather?
yeah, I remember that.
You done good.
I was in error.
All right. So we do need a hint from Heather, and then we're going down to only 2
All right,
points.
By
2
perusing
points.
BGG, I see it definitely came out fairly recently, but I think it may have come out like 10 plus years ago, like way back, and is like a remake or a different publisher put it out recently.
Okay.
Ah.
So that's the hint.
Looking at the awards from the years of other awards from way back.
Here's my question. Does it have minis in it?
That was going to be my next one.
I really don't think so. No minis.
No minis. Okay. Jay?
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark at a guess beforehand. Is it in too deep?
No.
Okay, then
That's Josh's game, right? Yeah. Josh and
yeah.
Daryl. Yeah.
Question: do the players have asymmetric powers?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different power. Yes.
Wow. Feel like we should know this. I have a guess. Is it Frogs in Rain?
That's
But she said it doesn't have minis. Jay's
Oh, true.
game.
Yeah.
That massive
That's
frog
when
in the
you're
middle.
flying,
yeah.
It's got the freeples. Jay's game has freeples in it. So, all right.
Oh man.
Steve, you're up. No stalling. What's your question?
All right. So for a gamer who's in, the hobby pretty well, would they recognize the name of the designer?
Let's
Is it
see.
somebody
I have
with-
no idea who it is.
Yeah, I know them. They've made games.
I probably not.
Not okay.
No. Okay.
Verla?
Do you know if it was crowdfunded?
Definitely wasn't.
Oh, okay. So publisher.
Hmm.
All right. So just to reset here, Chat Crew, we are down. She's going to give us our last hint, and we're down to 1 point. 1 point. We still have a shot at winning. Give us that hint, Heather. What you got? Who's going to take the point?
I'm going to give you a pretty big hint because this has been a tough one, which is it's like you're stranded on an island is the theme.
Is it Robinson Crusoe?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Why did I not think of that before?
When we
As
went
you
to Pirates, I thought you guys might start getting there. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
cooperative, it's tough. Got tons of cards.
But it has a board, it hexes. It's like a hard, it's a weird category of game. That's why I was like, oh, this is tough.
And I should
I
have
think
remembered
it is a
that.
remake, I guess. I didn't know it was.
You know what? So what happened is that that Ignacy kind of did this new expanded edition where he had the big crowdfunding for it, and you could
Oh,
get.
I see. I don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't follow it enough to know.
Should have gotten now. That's a fantastic one. We did get a point though. Yep.
I didn't
Mark
know
that
that.
down,
Let,
Steve.
us call it what it is, BJ. We got a merciful hint.
It was a great hit, man. It was.
If you're taking pride in that point,
wait. Did anybody else? Were you guys on it, or were you all about to say the same guess?
No idea.
when we got to Island, I knew the only other thing I could have thought of would have been like Forbidden Island as a remake of Pandemic. But when you said it was big and heavy, Robinson Crusoe.
No, and Bill
Bill has a good point
I
there.
totally forgot that there were dice in Robinson
I didn't have that
Crusoe.
either.
Yeah,
And I will.
like the stuff that comes through. Yeah, like I said, there is dice, but I wouldn't say it's like a.
I was stuck on Pandemic. I could not get. I kept going. Okay, it's one of the different pandemics, and then at some point you said something about it's not an American designer. I'm like, okay, she would know who Matt Leacock.
But I think
is, so
Bill
it can't be
also,
that one.
Bill or Jordan asked if it had been reskinned.
Oh,
that got me off the Pandemics.
Yeah,
But it didn't get me closer to anything.
When you guys were doing the big themes like space and all that, I was like, it's none of these. And when we got to pirates, I was like, you might start. It's not a pirate, but it's a shipwreck. It's pretty close. So
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I can
We've not had Robinson Crusoe on the show. That's fantastic.
it's a fun one. I like that game a lot. It's good, but it does take a while, and also the right group of people have to play that. I feel like it's not for everybody. Even though it's a co-op, it's not like a co-op in the way you may be thinking. It's still pretty hard, and there's a lot going on. And
so my second choice was going to be, if that one was not it, what's the one that you and I used to play? It's like a solo card game from Freedom and Freedom.
Oh, Friday.
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 It could have been
But
that
the
one
one before Friday's a solo game.
Yeah,
Friday's
small.
I wasn't anywhere with Friday on that one because that definitely could have been like the Robinson Crusoe card game, basically.
Right.
Fully light but mean little co-op card game.
All right, that's
Well
the
done.
only game presented by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Don't forget, make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper. And board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. Hey, Heather, how can people reach out to you if they want to know more about Ninth Level Games or about Unpub or about your work with Weird Giraffe and the Backer Kid coming out today?
Sure. So for ninth level, it's just at ninth with a 9 TH level games on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. For me personally, it is at Cat Physicist on Twitter.
I love that name.
And for Unpub, it's the Unpub on Twitter. And you can also go to unpub.net if you want to find out any more about that.
I absolutely love the name Cat Physicist, and it fits so well with the game.
I mean, you can kind of tell that I created that one around the time Schrodinger's Cats was coming out because that was like, I need a Twitter handle. There we go.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. We're also on YouTube or on Twitch. We have some content coming out, including our interview with Jeremy Howard of Isofarian Guard. I think that's publishing live tomorrow. So if anybody missed it on Gumbo Live a couple weeks ago, you'll see us talking about it. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming shows. I'm not sure who's going to be. Oh, no, it's going to be Kevin and Tori,
Kevin
right?
and Tori?
Steve? Yeah, from Votes
Let me
for
just
Women.
double check you on that.
I think that's coming up. Kevin and Kevin. Am I right?
I had a different announcement.
Okay. What you got, Jay?
The game's funded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Live right here.
Got
Yeah.
the gumbo bump.
The gumbo bump.
Thank you, Chat.
The
for
gumbo
getting
bump.
that done. That was awesome. Oh, thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to send a little note of congratulations to Carla because I know she's worried about that. Thank you, Jordan, for checking in. No, Jordan from No Cube Zone and Bill and everybody else that checked in. Yeah. So I think coming
FYI,
up,
it is Kevin Bertram. It is Kevin Bertram and Tori Brown next live show.
Kelly, you didn't help. You did it. You got it over the top. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for doing that. And we have Tori Brown and Kevin Bertram. They're going to be from Fort Circle Games and the designer of Voting for Women. A fantastic game. I got to play it last week. I cannot wait to play it again. I've been waiting for this game a long time, and it was better than I thought. I really enjoyed this game. So
That's awesome.
fantastic. All right, don't forget, you can catch us on Twitch on the other ends of the Tuesdays where we play your board games live on twitch.tv/boardgamegumbo. And we'll keep doing that as long as Jay is around until Jay's gone. So actually, I don't think we're going to be doing any more shows with Jay for a while, right? We'll see it on Twitch. Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you, Verla. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jay. And of course, thank you to Heather. Good luck with the project. It's already got there, but we want to see it just keep going on. And until next time, for everybody in the chat crew and for everybody in the show, I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Good night, everybody.
See you,
Bye.
friends.